Good afternoon, students. So, welcome all of you to the competitive exam preparation class, which is like this is English class. We'll only discuss about English because in competitive exam there are different types of question comes from English. It may be grammar, it may be comprehension, it may be anything. So, one major part is reading comprehension. You have to do it when you are sitting for any competitive exam. It may be GRE, it may be TOEFL or anything else. So let's see like how can you crack that. Just a second. So first I will discuss what is reading comprehension and how you can understand when you are going for any exam. Okay. So our topic is reading comprehension. Now, what is reading comprehension? Reading comprehension is one topic which commonly appears in the English language or the verbal ability section of all major government exams. So, if you are going for any government exam also, this reading comprehension section will come. This topic mostly holds the maximum number of questions and close to 10 to 12 marks in almost every competitive exam. So how many, like how much marks allotted there? Maybe 10 to 12 marks. The answers to all the questions are strategically hidden in the passage itself, and candidates can easily answer the questions correctly if they are prepared and have practiced enough. So if you practice enough reading comprehension, so you can find out the answer which is already hidden in the passage. So reading comprehension we have done practiced in the school life also. One small passage or one passage will come, which first you need to read that fast. After that, you need to find out the answers of the question, whatever you will be asked. So I will give you some example. Just a What is reading comprehension? Reading comprehension is the ability to actively read the information provided and assimilate the information to answer a given set of questions. So reading comprehension is the ability to actively read the information provided and assimilate the information to answer the question. So to solve reading comprehension, one must be able to understand the crux of the passage, answer questions based on the text provided, develop a perspective on the tone and tenor of the given passage, and the most followed rule in the RC section is to understand what you read. So, main thing is you have to understand the passage, like what is the topic is about, what is the passage is about, and you need to understand the meaning of the passage. If you don't understand the meaning, you cannot answer the questions, whatever question will be there. So the most followed rule in the RC section is to understand what you read. It will prove a boon for you You are able to read fast. Nevertheless, speed is always secondary to understanding. Though in competitive exam you have time limit, so you need to do a little bit hurry. You need to be very quick sometimes. But then, if you practice at home before going to the exam, you can understand it better. You can like crack it. So you must answer the questions before starting a preparation for RC. What are the types of questions that are asked in a comprehension? What should be the strategy to follow for answering comprehension? What skills can be tested in comprehension? How should we improve in comprehension? It's not that who will do this course, they will understand the passage better, and who will not attend the course, they will not understand the passage. It's not the thing. But if you know that what types of questions may come, you may have some confidence. The length of the passage or the vocabulary used in the passage might appear to be complicated for a candidate, but when he or she starts reading the passage, understanding it as well as answering it becomes easier. The length of the passage or the vocabulary used in the passage might appear to be complicated sometimes. Maybe you have got a very long comprehension passage, but when he or she starts reading the passage, understanding it as well as answering becomes easier. Scoring in the passage question is not difficult because the answers are straightforward and hidden in the passage. So it's not that you have to find the answer from outside. It's only in the like inside only. So you just have to find it out. Candidates must ensure that they practice more and more comprehension question to get the hang of how to scan the passage and answer the related question without wasting much time. So scoring the passage question is not difficult because the answers are straightforward, and you have to ensure that they practice more. Now, passage styles, reading comprehension. Apart from the length, difficulty level, and vocabulary used in the passage, another or rather the most vital aspect of these questions is the topics on which the passage may be asked. The comprehension is generally based on a piece of recent news or topics related to the competitive exam or can be from anywhere sphere of life. So you may receive a very long, lengthy passage, or you may receive a small passage, difficult, or maybe it's a long passage but a lot of information. Some like most probably you like the passage appear in the exam are from the very common like recent happenings, recent incidents, or maybe any sphere of life. You cannot predict that. So given below are a few spheres like current events. Most of the passages speak from a recent development across the world. Sometimes maybe economy related. It may be social science related. Uh, Maybe it is philosophy and psychology related. Maybe it is imaginary events. Okay, so it may be anything. Whatever the passage is, your work is to read the passage and to understand. So important rules to follow while answering RC passage. One should understand the author's main point, identify the key arguments being put forward to prove the point, identify the author's tone, which can be mocking, curious, respectful, condescending, etc. Check for negative conjunction, and these words will definitely reveal a change in the tone of the author. Check for negative conjunctions, and these words will definitely reveal a change in the tone of the author. So the implication of the author may not be what the initial statement suggests. Examples are, but nevertheless, how far in spite of, etc. So you should understand author's point, then you have to identify the key arguments, then you have to identify the author's tone, then you have to understand negative conjunctions, uh, see if there are any negative qualifiers words which create doubt about the fact being stated, perhaps, appears, somewhere, seems like, etc. Now, there are some tips to understand the comprehension passage. You have to read questions very fast so that you can understand it, what are the information you need to find out. So it is recommended that the candidate first read the comprehension and then move towards reading the passage. That this will help the candidate to spot the answer within a shorter time span. Do not assume anything. For reading comprehension, a crucial point to keep in mind is that assumptions should not be framed. The data given in the passage is the only information that needs to be used to answer the question. Solve the vocabulary-based questions fast. There may be questions like synonyms, antonyms, or other vocabulary-based questions. The candidate may not have to read the entire passage. This would save precious time. Use the elimination method. One of the major reasons why candidates tend to make errors is because of the confusing options given. So if a candidate cannot answer the question, he or she must start eliminating the options, which may not be the correct answer until they reach one which they are most confident of. Improvise your reading skills. Try reading the important words and phrases from the passage. Focus on the first and last passage. So there may be some paragraph, and 2, 3 paragraphs. First, you have to focus on the first paragraph and the last paragraph. Then you have to read the question first so that you can understand what are the information you need to seek. Then you cannot assume anything. So there may be synonyms, antonyms. You need to like find it from the passage only. You can do the elimination method. You can improvise your reading skill. Okay, these are the few tips which you can use in the reading comprehension passage. Okay, so now we will practice one comprehension passage. Okay, so let's read. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 paragraphs are there in the passage. So we will give attention more to the first and fourth paragraph. And we'll also read the question. So there are some fill in the blanks. Which you need to find out. So, okay, let's read the passage first. In the 16th century, an age of great marine and terrestrial exploration, Ferdinand Magellan led the first expedition to sail around the world. So you can see, so you can underline the information you are getting from here. They are talking about 16th century, an age of great maritime terrestrial exploration. Who led the expedition? Ferdinand Magellan. As a young Portuguese noble, he served the King of Portugal, but he became involved in the. He was a young Portuguese noble. He became involved in the quagmire of political intrigue of court and lost the king's favor. So after he was dismissed from service by the King of Portugal, he offered to serve the future emperor Charles V, like Charles V of Spain. So what he did after getting dismissed, he was offered to serve the future emperor Charles V of Spain. Okay. So first paragraph is important. Second paragraph, a papal decree of 1493 had assigned all land in the New World west of 50 degrees west longitude to Spain and all the land east of that line to Portugal. Magellan offered to prove that the East Indies fell under Spanish authority. On September 20, 1519, Magellan set sail from Spain with 5 ships. So more than a year later, one of these ships was exploring the topography of South America in search of a water route across the continent. These ships sank, but the remaining 4 ships searched along the southern peninsula of South America. Okay, now, Papal Decree of 1493 was assigned for them. Now, Magellan offered what did Magellan offer to prove that the East Indies fell under Spanish authority? On September 20, what happened? Magellan set sail from Spain with 5 ships. More than a year later, one of these ships was exploring the topography of South America in search of a water route across the continent. This ship sank, but the remaining 4 ships searched along the southern peninsula of South America. Finally, they found the passage they shot near 50 degrees south latitude. Magellan named this passage the Strait of All Saints, but today it is known as the Strait of Magellan. So we have done reading first and second paragraph. Okay, who is there? Srinija. Srinija, can you hear me? Hello. Shravani. Shravani, can you hear me? Who are the students here who are not responding? Hello. Hello. Are you really attending the class? Like, are you really there? Hello. Let's go to the third paragraph. One ship deserted while in the passage and returned to Spain, so fewer sailors were privileged to gaze at the vast panorama of the Pacific Ocean. Those who remained crossed the meridian, now known as the International Date Line, in the early spring of 1521, after 98 days on the Pacific Ocean. So what happened? One ship became alone in the passage and returned to Spain. So fewer sailors were privileged to gaze at that first panorama of the Pacific Ocean. So those who remained crossed the meridian, now known as the International Date Line, in the early spring of 1521. So after 98 days on the Pacific Ocean, during those long days at sea, many of Magellan's men died of starvation and disease. So later, Magellan became involved in an insular conflict in the Philippines and was killed in a tribal battle. Only one ship and 17 sailors under the command of the Basque navigator Elcano survived to complete the westward journey to Spain and thus proved once for all that world is round with no precipice at the edge. So this is the thing. So this is one like information of the geography. So what did they prove? That the world is round. Okay. Now this paragraph and first paragraph is important as we already discussed. Now if I ask what is the first question answer? The 16th century was an age of great marine and terrestrial exploration. So here there is no option matching with the answer. What will be the answer? None of the above. Next, Magellan lost the favor of King of Portugal when he became involved in a political intrigue. So the word is here. So you cannot write any other word here. You have to write the correct word. Intrigue. Then here is also the option is no here. So the option is none of the above. Next, the Pope divided New World lands between Spain and Portugal according to their location on the site. Okay, what is the answer of the number 3? If the answer is here, you have to find it out. Number 4, one of the Magellan ships explored the topography of South America. Again, the answer is none of the above. So 4 of the ships sought a passage along a southern. So you have to find the answer. Then this answer also you have to find out. So you have to always find the answer from the passage. Now you can see like in the passage, most of the answers are like none of the above or answer not available. But it will not happen always. So answers will be there. You have to find it out. Okay, so this is reading comprehension. Well, again back to another reading comprehension in the next class. So tell me, where did you understand the class? Do you have any query? Okay, then I will conclude the class here and will again continue in the next class.